I said, yes sir, we back, we here. Now listen, first video, I mentioned this thing about professionalism and I went right out the window 2 minutes in after I started cursing up the stuff. Listen, we're getting better at this. This is the second video I have on this channel. We're gonna work through this. We gotta get better at this if we're gonna get to ESPN one day, right? The video is gonna be about the Celtics, right? But we're gonna talk about the reasons that I believe they're the favorite over teams like the Bucks and obviously the Sixers, Heat, Cavs, that nobody else seems to be mentioning. I want to let it be known, let y'all acknowledge the fact that in the last video, I did predict that the Celtics was going to be better than the Bucks before they traded for Jrue Holiday. I just want to let that be known. So I was like, you know, I personally don't believe they're better than the Heat or the Celtics. The first and most dominant reason I want to point out is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's progression. Naturally, and in most or pretty much every other superstar that we see, their prime seems to be around the ages of 25, 26, and especially the age of 27, which is the age that Jaylen Brown is going to be in October, my birthday month. Jason Tatum's going to be 25, and we still expect him to take a step this season. Should be expecting him to take a step ahead this season. But weirdly enough, people don't seem to be mentioning that Jason Tatum averaged 39 and 5 last season. Who's to say this season he can't average the same or more? Jaylen Brown, another top 25 scorer, averaged 27, 7, and 3.5. When it's two top 25 scorers, and now you're adding the addition of Jrue Holiday. My second reason is, now when they traded Smart away, a lot of people have questions not only about Porzingis and himself and his ability to protect the rim or his ability to stay healthy, but now their ability to defend on the perimeter, which I didn't think should be in question in the first place. However, like I said, many people did. Now, in bringing in Jrue Holiday, obviously, you're eliminating that question completely. And you're even adding more versatility in some ways. Now, the switching that goes on in any position, I would say you're even more comfortable with Jrue Holiday guarding the big versus Marcus Smart doing so. I don't know about Porzingis being on a perimeter laterally. He could probably recover better, but regardless, you now have Jrue Holiday, who's a great defensive presence, and what a lot of people are mentioning is his closing aspect, his closing presence that he brings to this team. We saw with him on the Bucks, he was the primary closer over Giannis, and in some cases Chris Middleton, when Chris Middleton was him and Jrue Holiday, especially in the playoffs, took turns. Giannis got in here and there in closing the games out. He's not, I wouldn't say he's a bucket getter. I know that was on a few people's minds. But in closing moments, I wouldn't say that you can't count on him to get a bucket or get that big stop or just be the presence that calms the team down in these situations where the Celtics especially get kind of chaotic. Well, he brings a calming presence to the team that features a lot of heavy ISO ball and closing moments. And we've seen that could do great for them, that can bode well for them, or it can be very detrimental to them when Jason Tatum and or Jaylen Brown aren't doing their superstar fadeaways and step backs and you know, pull it up. Safety is good. But last thing I want to say about Jrue Holiday is the best option in the league to defend Dame on that perimeter. I don't see anyone. Probably second best is Derek White or Marcus Smart. Anyways, but these are some of the cream of the crop options to guard Dame. I'm not saying you can stop Dame from going out and getting 50. I'm saying this is probably your best opportunity to do so in Jrue Holiday.
Did Jrue guard you that series? Like I'm saying,
yeah,
was it? Yeah,
he guarded me. He's the best defender in the league. Like out of the guards, I think he's the best defender.
And he knows a lot of the closing sets and routine sets of the Bucks. Even though they have a new coach, you know a lot of Giannis's tendencies, what he likes to do, as well as Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. I'm sure the Celtics are well versed in it, but you yourself being on the other team, you probably know what's coming, and you can probably be a great hindrance too. Now, the last thing I want to point out, look, this is a broken piece of my trophy. Anyways, the last thing I want to point out about the Celtics is Joe Mazzulla's improvement as a coach, right? So, kind of mirrors what you seen, what you witnessed in the Heatles, where LeBron and D-Wade went over there. They hired Eric Spoelstra from within, and they weren't happy about it, but they rode with it. Or they were forced to ride with it. D-Wade explains in his interview.
I remember when Mickey and Nick Harrison set me down and said, "Hey, we're bringing up Spo from like Spo's in the video room, and then he sat behind the bench, and they was like, hey, we're gonna hire from within, and it's gonna be Eric Spoelstra." And I was like, Spoelstra? I'm looking for a big name coach, baby. I'm a star. I'm like, who we got? We gonna get Doc? Who we gonna get?
Right.
And I knew Spo. I had a great relationship with Spo because Spo would work me out. He was my workout guy.
Right.
So I liked Spo, but I didn't know Spo as a coach. And so when he first got there, he was a terrible coach, but he was a great guy to prepare you. He was going to work his ass off. No one was going to outwork him.
Right.
No one was going to be more prepared than him. He just had to learn when to call timeouts.
Right.
What plays to run out of timeouts. What late game, like all these things that you got to learn as a coach. As a star player, I had to go through it with coach.
Right.
And that's why our relationship is what it is today, because we went through this, right? We went through thank you this. We went through all of it because the journey, right, of a young coach.
As Joe Mazzulla gains that experience as a head coach, he's going to learn when to call timeouts. He's going to learn what plays to run and at what times. He's going to learn how to motivate his guys, what sets they like to be in. He's going to learn what closing sets they need to be in. He's going to learn what sets to run out of timeouts. You know, everything comes with that as a coach naturally under the guidance of Brad Stevens. Hopefully it's, expedited a little bit. Steve Nash never had that opportunity. Anyways, so I'll say his progression as a coach with JB and JT's progression as players, along with the addition of Drew Holiday and what he brings in terms of the closing presence and his ability to guard Dame and his ability to just bring a natural, quiet leadership to the team in lieu of Marcus Smart. I definitely think the Celtics are going to be the contending favorites for the Bucks. And we even have like a little matchups to go with it. Now, it's a little game, right? 1 or 2 points. This is called odds and evens, if you want to call it that, right? So you give 1 or 2 points in direction of the other team. We're going to go the whole starting in one of the teams. We're going to go the whole starting 5 plus the 6 man. These are my estimated starting lineups because I'm not even going to try to find their projected starting lineups because the ones that I did see are poop. So we're gonna start with Dame and Drew Holiday. I'm gonna give that to Dame. I'm gonna give that 2 points because I feel like the audience would want that to be 2 points in Dame's favor. I personally believe that will only be 1 in his favor. We'll give him 2 points though. I think a lot of people are still underrating the presence of Drew Holiday, right? We got White and I got Malik Beasley starting just in terms of fit for the Bucks, right? That's the only shooting guard that I see outside of Chris Middleton, but then if you're putting Chris Middleton there, you have Jay Crowder at the 3, and I don't think Jay Crowder is starting this season. So, like I said, Malik Beasley at the 2 versus Derek White. I'm putting that in Derek White 1 point favor. You got Middleton and Brown, right? That can go either way. That I understand in the audience view perspective, that probably can go either way. I'm still putting that in Brown's favor, number 1. And +1, right? Tatum and Giannis. I believe this can go either way as well. But for the audience sake, because I gave it to Jalen, I'm going to give it to Giannis. Okay, so it's kind of 1 in Giannis' favor. I'm not giving Giannis 2 over Jason Tatum. 1 in Giannis' favor. We're going to go down to the center position where Porzingis gets 1 and Lopez gets 1. Okay? So, all right, if you haven't kept up, because we're going to recap it right after this round. Bobby Portis, right? We got Al Horford. That's another one that when I start talking about it, I understand why it's such a debate, but I still think that the Celtics are the favorite. And this is, to cap it off, Al Horford over Bobby Portis. That's 4-3 in the Celtics' favor. And I'm content with it. So this was a good video. Leave out feedback, leave your opinions in the comments. I do want to argue with y'all. I do want to agree with y'all. If y'all have anything to say, just leave anything. Leave a like too. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.